And I'm going to take your last paragraph, whereas the true driver of self, the higher being, the innermost voice, the most compassionate, most wise self, this is the true self, which is obscured, but always there. So you're saying it yourself. It is obscured. And it is obscured by what? It is obscured by the egocentric drive, the drive of the ego that wants to take the place in the driver's seat, while in fact the personality has to be the driver, and the ego as a horse has to be tamed because it's jumping to the left, jumping to the right. And then the personality controlling that ego will allow for the passenger in the carriage, so I'm continuing your picture, the passenger in the carriage, which is on four wheels, so it's the personality, the fourfold personality. The spirit can be led to its destination. But if the ego, as a prancing horse, obscures the true self, the wiser self, as you put it, Marcus, then it's hopeless because it's going in all directions. It's jumping from left to right. So we as a personality have to be able to allow for the ego to be overcome. And it means it'll fade away where the higher self that you mention, not the higher self which is linked to the egocentric being, to the ego, but the true higher self is then what we can call the spirit. And then the personality is serving the spirit. And put it in other terms, it means that the personality serves the inner God. Because once again, dearest friends, we do not see God as being something outside of ourselves, but as something which is intrinsic to every human being, but where we have to go through all the cobwebs of our mind, where we have to go through all our mystifications, all our dogma about higher and lower selves and so on, and be able to penetrate into reality. So it's not talking about reality. It's not creating a philosophy about reality, but it is entering into one's inner true self, into one's inner true being, where then all egocentricity will be dissipated in the light of eternity, which is there, which is like a light which is becoming stronger and stronger. We may be using different words, but I've tried to explain it as an image taking from you about the personality, who is in the driver's seat and so on, to explain that. But I don't think you can sublimate the ego and say, well, be nice for some time so I can do my work. Because the ego will say, yes, yes, fine. And boom, it comes round from the other side. You say, yeah, okay. And then boom, it comes around the other side because its main purpose is self-maintenance. And most personalities are very happy to be completely controlled by the ego in self-maintenance. I hope you see that. And our literature certainly goes into that. And if you read into your heart, you will see that the ego doesn't have a place really in this eternity. It has to bow to its master, and the personality must also kneel to the inner being, not to any external authority. Don't get me wrong. It is to that inner, true soul being to which